Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlem Lane, Accra, on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian, Telesol, Gestate Touch, UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Mac Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu pickups and Chevy cars. Mac Ghana, with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, Roads and Highways Ministry suspends contracts of private weighbridge operators across the country following revelation of high-level tax evasion.
Actually, they've been vigorously mining for 5 years and declared no profits because they are claiming they've made no profits. And I'm trying to see how the theory of the fair will predict whether they will survive or not.
Supreme Court throws out writ by private citizen against government over removal of former EC chairperson Charlotte Osei. We'll get you details. Meanwhile, retired Supreme Court Judge William Atuguba dismisses allegations of receiving huge bribes in the 2012 election petition case to sway verdict.
We took $5 million bribe or what?
They're not true.
Oh, impossible.
Because you were accused of being an NDC. That's it. On the bench.
Oh, Lord.
We'll get to hear from him. Also, 50 factories and the government's flagship One District, One Factory program to start production by close of 2018 as the Trades Ministry approves more than 300 proposals.
And we are happy to say that a number of banks have shown keen interest in the support.
We also have sports.
And Black Princesses coach Yusuf Basigi insists they are ready for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup after arriving in France for the tournament.
And later in the bulletin, family planning experts back calls to enforce policy limiting number of children Ghanaian couples can have to 3.
Life is full of caps all over. Even your BP has a cap. You can decide to go outside the cap and bear the consequences.
We'll get to hear from them as well as some Ghanaians on whether this is the way to go in the country's developmental effort. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Now, the Roads and Highways Ministry has suspended contracts of private weighbridge operators across the country. This follows findings of persistent overloading of heavy truck or heavy-duty trucks. It comes at a time when the Ghana Bauxite Company is reported to have evaded the payment of penalty for overloading haulage trucks to the tune of more than $90 million over a period of 6 years. Joy News' Kwete Nate has more in the second part of a year-long investigation dubbed the $1 Million Evasion.
According to the 2014 Ghana Industries Extractive Index report, the bauxite company's earnings increased by 16% from 28.5 million in 2012 to 32.9 million in 2013 due to an increase in shipment from 752,771 tons in 2012 to 826,994 tons in 2013. However, the company failed to pay corporate tax in 2012 and 2013. In February this year, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at a ceremony in Accra questioned why a bauxite company in the country that has been mining for over 5 years has not declared any profit.
A few months ago, I sent a team to a bauxite mine. And we wanted to find out what was going on there because for 5 years, even though government had a share in this enterprise, we had received no dividend. So we wanted to find out what was going on. Are they mining or what is going on? But actually, they've been vigorously mining for 5 years and declared no profits because they are claiming they've made no profits. And I'm trying to see how the theory of the fair will predict whether they will survive or not. 5 years of mining without profit. But they are vigorously mining, and we just don't see how that should be.
Officials of the Ghana Bauxite Company have declined to comment on the matter. General Manager of the company, Fan Jenkon, dropped the call anytime he was contacted by the investigative team.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good day.
My name is Kwete Nate. I work for Joy FM. Hope you are doing well, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we are doing a story on Ghana Bauxite, and we're hoping we can
I'm in the middle of a meeting. Sorry.
So can I call you back today?
And that was our last conversation. Axle Load Manager at the Ghana Highways Authority, Nicholas Brown tells Joy News their checks reveal the Ghana Bauxite Company hauling trucks have been overloading. The protest has compelled them not to extend the contract of the private operator of the Bogosuwe Bridge contractor.
We have some information to that effect that some of the trucks hauling bauxite get overloaded, and we as agency we are taking measures to address it. Recently, we did not extend the contract of the operator who was in charge of the Bogosuwe Bridge station, and Ghana Authority has taken over the management of the station as part of measures to address these issues to ensure that overloading is checked at Bogos.
Why was the operator's contract cancelled?
Then the ministry has suspended the process for procuring fresh operators as part of the measures to address these practices.
In terms of figures, because when these trucks overload, we do understand that there are certain penalties they need to pay. You earlier told us that you are aware they are overloading. So what penalties have the Ghana Highways surcharged them with?
We are only able to find those who are intercepted and determined to be overloaded. Those that escape your weighbridge station, you are unable to determine the fines involved. So we can't put figures to what we are losing, but we know information from the ground indicate that there's some more practices going on and they are able to overload and escape our weighbridge stations.
The over $90 million of penalty evaded by the Ghana Bauxite Company can provide 80-kilometer two-lane paved road, 206-unit classroom blocks, 100 CHIPS compound in rural communities, 578 boreholes in areas with no potable water, and still have some $10 million surplus. Reporting for Joy News, this is Kwetenati Awaso.
Now, away from tax evasion, let's head to the Supreme Court because they've thrown out an application seeking an injunction to stop the president from continuing with the process of appointing a new chairperson for the Electoral Commission. A private individual, Fafali Nyonato, had asked the Apex Court to declare that the Chief Justice, Sofia Akuffo, breached the Constitution and exceeded the limits of her powers by defining the scope of a committee of inquiry that probed a petition for the removal of former EC chairperson Charlotte Osei. But a while ago, a 7-member panel of the Supreme Court judges hearing the case explained that Article 2, Clause 2 of the Constitution makes available remedies for a reinstatement if the court finds the removal of Charlotte Osei unconstitutional. And my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson was in court and joins us with details. So Parker, apart from the explanation about Article 2, Clause 2, making remedies for the reinstatement, what other reasons did the court offer in dismissing the writ?
In fact, the judges clearly declined from commenting on the substantive matter, and the reason they gave was that they don't want to prejudice the case because it is still in court and that the processes clearly are ongoing. So they don't want to prejudice the matter. They want the substantive case to be heard, and that when they do so, and they determine that indeed the removal of Madame Charlotte Osei was unconstitutional, then they can finally give their verdict and reinstate Madame Charlotte Osei per what the Constitution says. And as you quoted, the Article 2, Clause 2, that it can be reinstated when the court finds out that indeed her removal was unconstitutional.
But was the plaintiff in court, and how has she been reacting to this verdict?
If I come again with a question.
I'm asking whether the plaintiff was in court and how she's been reacting to this verdict.
Of course, the plaintiff was in court today. I mean, her lawyers and the lead counsel, I should say, Chris Akume, prevented her from speaking to the media. And indeed, himself, Chris Akume did not also speak to the media. He said that he was going to chambers and that he will get back to the media in due course when he's perusing the verdict by the Supreme Court.
Well, many thanks, Parker Wilson. But addressing the media also after the ruling, Deputy Attorney General Godfred Dame said President Akufo-Addo is likely to appoint the new EC chair, or confirm Madame Jean Mensah within 24 hours.
The way has been paved. The way has been paved clear for the appointment of the Electoral Commissioner formally for the swearing to take place. And I believe that the President will act in accordance with today's ruling, which is that there is no impediment in his way, and he can go ahead and appoint. And indeed, he's going to appoint. Yes, I'm sure he's going to appoint in the next 24 hours or so.
You heard the Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dame. Now, away from this, retired Supreme Court Justice William Atuguba has dismissed allegations he and other judges of the Apex Court took huge bribes in the 2012 election petition case to sway the outcome of the case. Some activists of the then opposition NPP made the claim after the court ruled in favor of the NDC, which validated the EC's declaration of John Mahama as winner of the presidential election back then. Now, speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of a lecture to honor him for his commitment and dedication to the nation, he described the allegations as unfortunate.
Imagine that when we're on this presidential election petition, all sorts of things were being said. We took $5 million bribe or what.
They are not true.
Oh, impossible. Now, if that were true, why is the matter left unattended to? I mean, but there's this culture of impunity in the name of freedom of expression without noticing the prejudicial effect on the institutions they are attacking and which are there primarily for their own interests, the interests of the public. And so when you weaken and pull down these institutions, where is your protection?
Because you were accused of being an NDC person on the bench.
Oh, Lord. Well, I heard from time to time. At the beginning, people were saying that because I was appointed by NDC, I was pro. When I started giving judgment against them, then I heard NDC people say I was pro-MPP. And when I gave judgment against, then you see what I mean. All our appeal to those who are thinking that way is that they should take all the judgments I have written and then try to subsume them politically.
4 new judges have been appointed by the president. Some say that they were appointed because they decided to dismiss Charlotte Osei. So the appointment, in a way, is kind of a reward to the judges.
Will it be fair, by dint of sheer coincidence, to deny people who are competent and very well qualified for the position? It means that whenever somebody serves either on the bench or before in a matter that concerns the government, then automatically he is a tainted person. That will be too far-fetched.
You heard there retired Supreme Court Justice William Atuguba speaking to my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Now, youth in the Zongo community in Kumasi have expressed concern with the composition of a committee investigating the killing of 7 youth at Mansung Kwanta in the Ashanti region. The 5-member committee, led by a justice of the High Court, has members drawn from the BNI, the church and the Muslim community. They have a month to investigate how the police shot and killed the 7 people they described as suspected armed robbers. But the media was barred from covering the event. Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah later talked about the members of the committee.
They are calling for investigation into the matter. They've also petitioned us and the Vice President that they don't want the involvement of the police in the investigation process. As a result, an independent committee that is independent of the police has been established, 5-member, with representation from the judiciary. So a justice of the High Court is chairing the committee. We have representation from the Christian community. We have representation from the Islamic cleric. We have somebody from the BNI also on the committee, and then another person as secretary to the committee. And they are starting their work immediately.
Let's get to Ohiming Teria, my colleague who has been following this issue. So, Ohiming, what really are the concerns of the Muslim community? Because we've heard about the composition of this committee. What exactly are their concerns?
They are raising 3 key critical issues to the investigative committee. First, they are questioning why the Regional Coordinating Council will not name members of the committee in order for them to know their experience and their track record. They also want to know why the terms of reference of the committee was not made public. And also they are questioning why the media, bereaved families and the general public, for instance, were barred from the inaugural event. Sadiq Hussein and Said Abdusalam Ofe are chairman and vice chairman of the concerned Zongo Youth, respectively.
We are happy that
what we submitted in terms of demand has been heeded to by the authority. To that score, we can confidently say that we are happy. It is a knowledge that is known to everybody that anytime a committee is set, normally the identity of the individuals in the committee should be known to the public. Because this is an investigative committee, we are only told that they were inaugurated, but as in the names, people who constituted the committee are not still known to the people. You get it? So we feel that at least that element should also be clear.
I'm sure you put these concerns to the regional minister. What did he say about it?
Mr. Simon Osei Mensah believes the committee should be independent, and according to him, everybody who wants to reach out to the committee is allowed and obliged to do so.
We ask that we are going to give numbers, their numbers, so that they can call those numbers, and then we give them the lead to go to the committee members. We don't have a situation where people will be just trooping to their houses and all those things, to not to give them the chance also to do their work. Again, if you have an issue which is maybe information, you can even channel it through us. We will get it to the committee. Some of them, if you think it's relevant to the family members, they can get to the family members and then discuss with them. Those who think are relevant to the police, you can give the information to the police so that they can do their work.
Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah. You also heard earlier my colleague Ohiming Teria. Now, for those of you wondering what has happened to the One District, One Factory program, government says 50 of the 275 factories expected under the One District, One Factory program will be in production by the end of this year. The campaign promise is aimed at providing jobs and reducing Ghana's high unemployment rate. Its implementation is thought to have delayed largely as a result of funding issues. Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo says more than 330 proposals have so far been approved by the Trades Ministry. Speaking at the Graphic Stanbic Business Breakfast meeting in Accra, Mr. Yao Osafo-Maafo said more banks are now willing to fund the project.
Now, I'm reliably informed that so far, the Minister has received 781 expressions of interest, out of which 632 have been reviewed and 332 are currently being processed for financial support. So far, 15 projects have been approved for implementation under the 1D, 1F. And we are happy to say that a number of banks have shown keen interest in the support. We expect that by end of this year, 50 of those which have been appraised will be in production. GCB has agreed to make available to support the 1D, 1F, 1 billion cedis. UBA has agreed to support by 880 million, ADB 200 million, Exim Bank 103 million, UMB 440 million, SGSSB 25 million. We continue to count. Other banks are discussing with us.
You heard the Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come, we'll get to hear from former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ivan Adai-Mensah, who is calling for a review of the free SHS policy and cautions politicians against making education a key campaign issue without the input of technocrats. And then also, we'll get to hear from family planning experts who support calls to enforce policy limiting number of children Ghanaian couples can have to 3.
Life is full of caps all over. Even your BP has a cap. You can decide to go outside the cap and bear the consequences.
All that and more after this break.
That is the sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mac. Yes, Mac Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars, from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pocket. Mark Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website at markghana.com. Mark Ghana, with you for the long run.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. You're welcome back. Time now for the latest from the world of sports. Benedict Owusu is in the studios.
Yes, afternoon to you. And you know, Black Princess, next week they'll be in action in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Well, they touched down in France yesterday, and Coach T. Dramani went to France with 21 players as well as other technical members. And you know how their preparations went here in Ghana because of the recent football issues here in the country. They didn't really have enough time to prepare. But Yusuf Basigi says they are very ready for the competition.
Every technical man or every coach would like to play friendly international to get the needed exposure before the main competition. So, in fact, the preparation has been very short. And then looking at the time for the training tour, we need to be there at least 10 days. And since we're not getting there by 10 days, we'll not be able to acclimatize very well. And then also with the few knocks that we had here and there, we thought that, well, since the time is very short, why not just move straight to France instead of.
So that's Yusuf Basigi, is coach of the Black Princesses team. Their first game is on Sunday. That will be against host nation France. The last time I was telling you about the next big thing after the World Cup commentary, which we brought you here on Joy FM. I was telling you about the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. So it's happening on September 1. Which yourself, Araba, will be there to play some football for us. Absolutely. And we are continuing the Joy Sports Invitational Diaries. And our CEO Sports profiling falls on Mr. Cecil Sunkwa Mills, the managing director of MultiChoice Ghana, who brings us DSTV.
It is rather coincidental that Cecil Sunkwa Mills runs a network of channels which include Supersport, which broadcasts all the major sporting competitions across the globe, including the FIFA World Cup and the UEFA Champions League, to mention a few. Cecil Sunkwa Mills, who is a product of Infantipim School, has played some football and volleyball as well. One of his major strengths is the sport of hockey. So other CEOs must watch out for Cecil Sunkwa Mills, the managing director of MultiChoice Ghana, as he uses his magical foot to convert the penalties in the CEO's mini goalpost penalty shootout. He will also play a big role in giving MultiChoice DSTV Ghana's unisex volleyball team great technical direction to possibly win for the first time the trophy in that competition at the 2018 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament.
Yes, very, very nice man there. So definitely we'll continue with our CEO's profile. We'll profile yourself, Araba Kumsin, and then the guy said, CEOs, absolutely. You're already CEOs, don't worry.
Benedict Owusu with the latest from the world of sports. Now, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ivan Adai-Mensah, has cautioned politicians against making education a key campaign issue without the input of technocrats. He says politicians must begin to accept dissenting views, especially from those who know it better than they do. According to him, the implementation of the double-track system should just be an interim measure while government undertakes a total overhaul of the free SHS policy. Listen.
This measure we have taken may solve the problem for some time. We shouldn't look at it as a permanent solution. We should go back and sit at the drawing board and look at the whole issue again. Possibly not just dismiss what Finance Minister said, whether it is cabinet decision or not cabinet decision. And let's see whether there could be another alternative without abandoning the central principle of free education. I think that it will be in the best interest of everybody for governments who bring about these policies to listen to the people, especially those who are the practitioners of education, so that if there are any foreseeable difficulties or challenges, these can be met or you can prepare to meet them when these challenges arise. Unfortunately, since the beginning of this Fourth Republic, all the governments that we have had, without any exception, when they conceive a policy on the basis of political promises, means of gaining power, they make up their minds and they don't listen.
You have a former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ivan Adai Mensah. You're still listening to the Midday News. And the Executive Director of the Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, Mamie Dubie Champong, has backed calls by the Executive Director of the National Population Council to enforce the policy limiting number of children Ghanaian couples can have to 3. Dr. Pierre's call to enforce the policy was sharply criticized, but the NPC boss says she still stands by her comments.
I think I still stand by it because life is full of caps all over. You know, even your BP has a cap. Your height has a cap. You can decide to go outside the cap and bear the consequences. You know, I don't think that taxpayers' money should be made to support people to have 10 children and then in the process die and leave orphans for us to take care of them.
Apart from the social intervention programs that you think for people who would give birth outside a maximum of 3, apart from excluding them from social intervention programs, would you recommend any sanctions or anything?
No, it's difficult to recommend sanctions. You see, every human beings are policy directed. You know, it's all linked. So we need to look at it very, very critically. Now, the last budget that we read, we're talking about a luxury tax. I don't think that if I don't have a luxury car, I'm not earning 10,000. But if I were earning in the luxury tax, I don't think that I would want that money to be spent on somebody who's going to have a 6-7 child.
Well, the Executive Director of the Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, Mamie Dubie Champong, believes Ghana's challenges with the implementation of some social intervention programs are as a result of population growth outstripping the country's resources.
To be able to plan well, you must be able to have a population that works well for you. And the upside we are having in terms of the numbers with the free SHS is a classical example. And I think that is what has actually brought back that conversation. We must plan how we have our children in terms of the numbers. And then the nation can also adequately plan towards social intervention activities and projects, but also in terms of policies and strategies that would advance our development.
Now, what do you think? Should there be a cap on the number of children couples can have? The microphone is yours now.
I'm a Muslim, actually. And Ghana, they say it's a secular state. In as much as it's a good thing, I really think couples must have their peace of mind to give, best to children as many as they can. We have, our systems are not even that strong. The systems we already have, they don't even work as efficient as we want. They can try to enforce it, but look.
As you have the privilege to give birth to more than, they can't. It will be difficult for them to do such a thing. But I think as time goes on, it will work out.
I think it will help because when you look at the population, we are increasing and the government doesn't have the access for everybody. So I think if we do that, then if we bring that, then I think it will help everybody to be able to access the free education because people are benefiting and people are not benefiting really. So.
Your views there. Now, Joy News can report that Miss Ghana 2017, Margaret Derry, has announced her resignation as holder of the crown. She has also decided not to take part in this year's Miss World contest. Joy News has cited a copy of the letter which Margaret sent to exclusive events organizers of the pageant. My colleague Mapitso Sibide joins me with details of the letter. Maps, what does it say?
All right, here's the letter. Dear Management of Exclusive Events Ghana, Miss Ghana Foundation, good morning. Unfortunately, I am unable to continue as Miss Ghana in the present circumstances. I will be grateful if we work out an implementation plan. I propose a meeting on Wednesday, 1st August 2018 to work out the specific details. Best regards, Margaret Derry.
As simple as that. Thank you, Maps. But Joy News is yet to get details of why she's resigning. But she recently told Manasseh Zoria-Winnie in an exclusive interview that she had endured months of mistreatment from the organizers of the pageant.
There are so many hardworking women out there. There are so many powerful women out there who have never even had a crown on their heads, but they've still made it. They've still been able to push in life, and they've still been able to work their way to where they want to work to get to. So I just feel I have so much more to offer than having a crown of a burden on my head and allowing people to make me feel like I'm nothing without them.
So it's not a crown of glory?
It's when you go out and when people see you, when people don't know all this, they feel it's a crown of glory. They think you have everything you want in life, and they think you are sorted for the rest of your life. You don't have to even lift a finger, but when you are inside it, you know it's a burden. It's a really big burden.
Reigning champion of Miss Ghana, Margaret Derry there, speaking to my colleague Manasseh Azuri Awini. And that's it for the Midday News. Our top story so far: Roads and Highways Ministry suspends contracts of private weighbridge operators across the country following revelation of high-level tax evasion. We also went to the Supreme Court, where they've thrown out writ by private citizen against government over removal of former EC chairperson Charlotte Osei. Retired Supreme Court Judge William Atuguba has dismissed allegations of receiving huge bribes in the 2012 election petition case to sway verdict. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MFR Pau. Thanks for your company.